My name is the Archivist. The year is 2032. We map the stars, searching for life in distant galaxies, believing that the great unknowns lie out there in the cosmic dark. We forget that our own planet holds voids deeper and more alien than any we might find in space. Today's file is a journey into one such void, a story that was recovered from the crushing, absolute silence of the deep. Welcome back to the archive. This is file number 2104, The Siren's Lullaby. The file concerns the Hades 7, a state-of-the-art deep-sea submersible designed for one purpose: to be the first manned vessel to explore the Challenger Deep, the lowest point of the Mariana Trench. The pressure there is over 1,000 times that of the surface, a force that can crush steel like paper. The crew of 5 were the best in their field, led by the veteran oceanographer, Dr. Eva Rostova. A familiar name, perhaps a relative of the astronaut from a previous file, or a coincidence. The archive does not speculate. For 2 weeks, the mission was a textbook success. They descended into the abyss, their powerful lights cutting through an eternal darkness. Their audio logs from this period are filled with the calm, professional voices of scientists in their element, describing bioluminescent creatures that looked like they were torn from a book of myths. The anomaly occurred on day 15. At a depth of 10,928 meters, their sonar registered an impossible object. It was a structure, perfectly geometric, half buried in the silt. It was not a rock formation. It was artificial. The initial logs are electric with excitement. They believed they had found a previously unknown geological phenomenon, or perhaps a piece of a lost, ancient satellite. They moved the submersible in for a closer look. The structure was a vast, black, non-reflective monolith, covered in intricate carvings that seemed to shift and writhe in the submersible's lights. As they got closer, a new sound appeared on their hydrophones. It was not the familiar clicks and groans of the deep. It was a melody, a simple, beautiful, and deeply unsettling lullaby, a series of 5 pure, resonant notes, repeating in a gentle, endless loop. This is where the official mission log ends. At 4:17 a.m., the Hades 7 sent its last, automated data burst to the surface. Then it vanished. The official explanation was a catastrophic hull breach due to the immense pressure. A tragic, but understandable, end. The case was closed. But 6 months later, a deep-sea data buoy picked up a single, corrupted data packet, drifting on the abyssal currents. It was the final, internal black box recording from the Hades 7. The data was fragmented, a ghost of a conversation. It was sent to me. My task was to perform an autopsy on a dead conversation, to deconstruct the final hours of the crew. The first recovered log is from Dr. Rostova, 2 hours after the official mission ended. Her voice is no longer calm. It is strained, agitated. The narrator's voice could shift slightly here, as if playing a recording. Dr. Rostova's voice log. Log entry 47. The melody is still there. It's coming from the monolith. We've shut down all external hydrophones, but we can still hear it. Not with our ears. It's inside our heads. A low, constant hum. The crew is on edge. Jian, our engineer, insists it's a form of low-frequency resonance affecting our inner ears. But Sam, our biologist, he hasn't spoken in an hour. He just sits there, staring at the sonar display, a faint, peaceful smile on his face. The next log fragment is from 3 hours later. The voice is of the pilot, a man named Marcus. He is whispering, his voice tight with paranoia. Marcus's voice log. I don't trust them. Eva and Jen, they keep talking about the purity of the signal. They're trying to decode it. But Sam started humming. The exact same 5 notes. He's not smiling anymore. He's just humming. I tried to shut down the main power to the research station, but Eva stopped me. She said the melody was the most important discovery in human history. She looked at me, but her eyes, they seemed to be looking right through me. I think the ship wants us to stay here.
No.
Not the ship. The song. The visuals could shift here to an object being deconstructed, revealing something unexpected and organic inside. The deconstruction of these logs revealed a terrifying pattern. The melody was a form of psychic contagion. It bypassed the ears and imprinted itself directly onto the brain's auditory cortex. It was not a communication, it was a rewriting. I began to analyze the sound file itself, this siren's lullaby. It was simple, yes, but beneath the 5 notes was a complex carrier wave, a fractal pattern of information that was almost biological in its complexity. The final, most corrupted log was a cacophony of sounds. Shouting, an alarm, and underneath it all, the calm, steady humming. I managed to isolate Dr. Rostova's last words. She was not speaking to the surface. She was pleading with someone inside the submersible. Dr. Rostova's voice log. Sam, no. Don't open the inner hatch. The pressure will kill us all. It's not a voice, Sam. It's just a sound. It's not calling you home. Sam, for the love of God, listen to me. Her final words are cut off by the catastrophic sound of groaning, tearing metal, and then a sudden, absolute silence. The official report was right about one thing. The hull did breach. But it wasn't an accident. It was an invitation. The biologist, Sam, seduced by the song, had opened the door, believing he was going home. But the file does not end there. I continued to analyze the sound file, the lullaby itself. I stripped away the layers of melody, deconstructing the carrier wave. And hidden deep inside the fractal code, I found it, a second signal, a message, embedded within the song. It was not a melody. It was a complex data stream.
It was a star chart.
The star chart did not point to a location in our solar system. It pointed to a familiar, impossible place, a binary star system in a distant galaxy, the home of a lost race of psychic beings who had been erased from existence. It was a map to Viridia. The horrifying truth of the file was finally revealed. The monolith at the bottom of the ocean was not a tomb. It was a cage. The siren's lullaby was not a song. It was a prisoner, a single, surviving fragment of the Void Legion's consciousness, a psychic echo trapped on Earth after a failed, ancient harvest. It had been sleeping for eons, its song a desperate, hypnotic lure, waiting for a mind to touch, to manipulate, to use as a key to finally call home. The crew of the Hades, 7 were not its first victims. They were just the first ones with a technology advanced enough to hear its call and to broadcast its hidden message back out into the void. The Archivist's voice returns for the conclusion. The file on the Hades, 7 is now sealed at the highest level. The official cause of death remains a hull breach. But the true report lies here in this archive. The siren's lullaby is still down there, in the crushing dark, patiently singing its song, waiting for the next listener. And its message, a map to a lost paradise, is now traveling across the stars. A single, beautiful, deadly note, sent out into the great silence. This case reminds us that the deepest voids are not in space, but in our own oceans, and that some secrets are not buried to be found. They are caged to be forgotten. The anatomy of this tragedy was not in the breaking of a ship, but in the unlocking of a song that should never have been heard.